There are many skills you should have as a UI UX designer to help you improve your career and to charge more for your work, and one of those skills is definitely branding design. So in this video I'm going to show you how to do that and how to evolve yourself to charge more and to be a better designer. Hey designer, Alex here, welcome to the channel, and in this video we're going to talk about branding and specifically branding skills for UI UX designers. Now you don't have to be the perfect brand designer, but as a skill it is really useful because you're working with logo, you're working with typography, you're working with different color styles, you're even creating different color styles, you're creating design systems, so you should always evolve as a designer and perhaps include all of those skills into your branding work for your clients that you're working for. Now, this doesn't have to be this sort of incredibly vast amount of branding. You don't have to know all of the traits of it, but being able to work with other designers in a team, or especially with the marketing team who is going to use your assets that you created or that you use and adapted through your UI UX design work into their marketing efforts is really important. And instead of sending these huge zip files and instead of creating these PDFs that marketing team later has to open up and then copy and paste all of these assets, there is a tool out there which I'm going to show you today that you can use to create these branding presentations, to charge more, and to also be available to your clients in the future, to their marketing teams, and to other designers who are going to come down the line after you to start working with these branding assets. So the tool in question is called Bravemark, and today I'm going to show you what it is, how you can use it to your advantage as a UI UX designer to include branding in your work as well, as I said, to charge more and to help future developments of this brand that you're working on for marketing efforts, but also for graphic designers as well. So you can see right here, present and hand off brand identity design projects like a pro. So you can create these brand identity presentations, as I said, for the marketing team later, for designers who are going to come in the future, but also to deal with clients if they ask you, for example, which fonts did you use, which colors did you use, can I use this logo on a white background, can I use it on the dark background, where should I use this logo version, where should I use that logo version. So it's really important to save yourself a lot of time down the line and to create sort of a brand presentation identity so you can save yourself all of those questions down the line. So you can see save hours of work while providing your clients with a more practical solution to access their brand assets rather than zip files. And you can see that it's created by brand designers, so these people know what they are talking about. You can see that you can create modern interactive presentations, you can organize all of your brand assets, and here you can see how it looks like in a glimpse. So you can include different typography, even with photography and illustration, and especially with color palettes, so they know which colors they can use and for what. So you can see custom drag and drop presentation builder, so you don't have to code anything, everything is already pre-built inside. And let's open up, for example, one of these just to show you what it looks like. And one thing to note, this is in closed beta at the moment, so you will have to join the waitlist. So make sure to pop in your email right here, click join waitlist and wait for your invite to get inside of here. So this is called Edgeware Brand Bible. This is how they named it, and this is what I wanted to show you, so you can download assets right here, so you don't have to communicate with your clients later for them to send you the logo in this version or in this version. Everything can be located in one place. So this is basically a single source of truth, like a design system, but for branding in this case. So you can see how the logo looks like, why is it used, and here you can include different source of descriptions for particular logos, for particular use cases, for typography and stuff like that. And here you can see, for example, master logo type solid, And here we have the download option, and here we have the information. So when I click the information, you can see it should be used in most cases, but when I want to download it and click right here, there are various different options for me to download it. So you can see I have the AI option, EPS, PNG, and SVG. So no matter which type of project you're working on later, you have the option to download that particular logo. So if your client is working, for example, on, let's say, a Facebook campaign, they're going to use the PNG, but if the designer is working on it, for example, you're changing the website later or creating a mobile app, then you can download the SVG version of that particular logo. So if we go further down, you can see how the logo looks like on different color backgrounds, the solid versus the outline logo, how the icon set looks like, and you can always include additional information here. For example, use these icons in print, use these icons on web. You can see two different colors of icons. Maybe you should explain why use this one against this one. Then we have the typography. We have the font, in which cases this font should look like. So primary typeface, supporting typeface, maybe describe what each of them is for. And finally, we have the colors. And the great thing about these colors is, for example, I can see this color. I can just click right here and it's going to copy to clipboard this color. Then I can paste into, for example, my tool of choice, or if I'm working in creating, let's say, in something like Adobe Express, where I want to create these different social media graphics, I can simply come right here, click on this color, copy it to my clipboard, go to Adobe Express, for example, paste it in right there, and I'm going to have consistency between all of my branding assets, whether that's a graphic design, a website design, or social media design. So let me show you how the tool actually looks like once you are in. So these are your projects, and this is how it looks like because it's in closed beta. And if you go inside the closed beta and you are accepted, make sure to leave your feedback because it's going to help them improve this tool even further down the line. So I'm going to quickly create a new project and I'm going to call it Web Donut, and I'm going to use Web Donut as the name. Blank canvas, you can use it, or you can use the starter template. So let's go with starter template, and you can choose the dark or light versions. So let's go with the light version in this case. Hit create new project, and here you can see how this template looks like. So I'm going to straight away click on it and I'm going to adjust it. But before I actually move on any further, let me show you the modules library. So you have the intro module, and you can simply drag and drop these modules onto the page. Then you have the section title, which is basically this thing right here. And these section titles appear right here. So you can easily navigate through your sections by simply clicking on this menu, because for some brands, these pages can be really short, like I'm going to show you in this particular case, but for some brands, there can be 20 or 30 or 50 different sections, depending on how big the brand is. So it's really important to have this navigation, and great thing about Bravemark is it's going to come responsive out of the box. So all of these modules are pre-made to be responsive. So if you share this with your client and they open it up on their mobile device, for example, they're still going to be able to access all of these assets and for them to be responsive. So as I said, we have the intro card, which is basically this thing. Then we have the section title, we have the logo, image, color palette, text, and the stack. And stacks are really interesting. I'm going to show you that in just a second. But first things first, let's click on this one right here, and let me hide myself just so you can see it a little bit better. So what I'm going to use right here is we have the white theme template, which I'm going to get rid of and call it Web Donut, because that's the name of my brand. And for this particular description, what I'm going to do is just put this suite design solutions for designers. I can change this to be X large or XX large, for example, so just really huge, but I'm going to keep it at X large. And where the logo is, I'm just going to drag and drop my own logo. You can see it's going to replace it. And now you can change the text color, background image. If you have any kind of cool pattern, that would be a great option to include right here, because it's just going to keep that branding across this page. So let's move on down. Here we have the logo marks. And in this case, what I'm going to do is select this logo marks, and I'm going to come right here, click right here to position it to the center, because that's another thing. You can even stylize these. For the moment, you don't have too many options, but that's going to hopefully come down the line. But If you want all of your assets to be centered, you can do so, left aligned, right aligned, so you can really play around with the position of them. So let's come right here where it says main logo mark, and I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to also drag and drop that logo inside. And here you can see that you have vertical space. Let me get rid of this. And this vertical space can be really useful. So let's first describe this. So when you click right here, I'm going to include my own text. So we can say something like use this logo across your branding materials and social media pages, so your clients know where they can use it. And also I'm going to get rid of this vertical space to 0, and this section is going to be a lot smaller down the line. So you can hit save draft, and once you do, you're going to see this window, so you can continue branding, or if you're ready, you can publish your brand page, and I'm going to show you how that looks like in just a second. But let's move on down the line. So what we will do right here is, instead of logo mark option, I'm going to type in word mark logo, and I'm going to include that word mark logo in just a second. There we go. I'm going to get rid of that vertical space, and let me hide myself once again, because I want to be able to open that up inside. So let's write something like use this logo for the website navigation only, because for example, maybe that's why is it for. Then we are going to come right here. I'm going to call this black and white logo, for example, and I'm going to drag and drop that version inside. And for this one, let's also get rid of it. So let's go with 0, and then use this logo against the light gray background. Then obviously we cannot see it right here, so let's go ahead and include the background color, and I'm going to include some really light color, so maybe F2, I think it's good. Hit select, and now you can see the logo inside. So this option, I'm going to get rid of it. So you have this trash can icon, hit right there. Then we have the colors, and I'm going to center it once again. And here, let's actually use this light gray color. So I'm going to hit right there, and I'm going to click on the swatch. And let's see, primary colors, we can get rid of that because we don't actually need that, because we just have one set of colors in this case. So here what we can include is, let's actually call it white, and let's just save it out as it is. Then here I'm going to include that gray color like that, and I'm going to call it, instead of white, I'm going to call it light gray, like so. Then for this one, let's call it dark gray, for example, and maybe 868686. I'm going to put it like that, and you can see it is generating RGB straight away, and I can simply click right here, and it's going to copy to the clipboard. Finally, this color, I'm going to call it main blue or donut blue or whatever, brand blue. I know it is 3EC6FF. When I press enter or return, you can see that we have this color. Now here where it says getting creative, what I can do is perhaps put this in the center and, for example, call it logo guidelines. And I can play around with the position of these, so I can swap order, or I can select it. So for example, I can position it down a little bit, I can position it up, I can add the columns, so you can see now I have 3 columns, or I can delete it and I can come again, select this one, swap order, because I want to use this one once again. I'm going to drag and drop it inside. So instead of logo guidelines, maybe I can call it, for example, logo use cases. Oh no, maybe guidelines is better. So in this case, what I'm going to do is call this so logo guidelines, and inside of here I can say, for example, use this logo against the white backgrounds. There we go. And finally, I can align this to be large, for example, and I can use the text color. So let's use light gray, and I'm going to come right here to the background color, add a background color, hit right here, and there we go. So now we have a much more coherent branding guideline, and if you want to include images, which I strongly recommend, like you saw in this example right here. So here, all of these are images. As you can see, we cannot select this font. So these are images. I highly recommend that you include all of your icons that you use, for example, all of your images that you used, image styles, if you have any kind of drop shadows in the background, all of these things, what's important and useful to your client and to designers in the future, maybe you should include that. So what can we do in this case is, let's get rid of this and let's add a section title. Just drag and drop it inside. It's going to place the section title, and maybe we can include something like branding use cases, something like that. Hit right here, and you can always include the brand color if you want or something like that. What I'm going to do is go back to the modules and use the stack, drag and drop it inside. I'm going to have these two, but instead of that, I'm going to go with the image on top. So now we have image and we have two images left and right. So this first image on top, I'm going to simply drag and drop an image inside. There we go. And because I used this light gray color right here, what I can do is use the background color and simply paste in that F2 color. There we go. Or I can even go right here and maybe select a lighter version or darker version so that it kind of blends in with the background of my image. So for now, let's go with something like that. I think that works just fine. And now here, what I can do is just drag and drop an image inside of that module. I can click right here, drag and drop an image right here as well. So what I can do is come right here, drag and drop an image in, drag and drop an image in there. And you can see we have image title. I'm going to get rid of that because we don't need it. There you go. Or you can simply include something like a product page on a website, because this is what that is, or this is Instagram page, so you can include that as well. You can see you have your background colors, you have your background image, vertical space, you have your comment, so you can include all of those options. But for now, let's call it done. So I think that this is what I wanted. You can see in just a few minutes we already created this. So I think that's great. I think it looks fine, and now I want to publish it. So here you have your save draft option. When you click right there, you have, looking up, you can continue branding or publish brand page. I'm going to hit publish brand page in this case, and here you can select your path. I'm just going to select Web Donut because Alex on Design is my sort of name on Bravemark here, but I'm going to use Web Donut because it's going to say then Alex on Design, which is the designer's name, i.e. your name, and then slash Web Donut is the project. So make sure to always include the names of your projects, so it's going to be sort of like your branding portfolio later when you include 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 of these projects in your Bravemark portfolio. So when you publish them, it's going to be quite easy to see and to understand which one is it. So publish brand page. Now you can copy your URL right here. You can continue branding, and if I open up a new tab, this is how my branding now looks like. So I can include logo marks, click right there to jump to the navigation, but let me show you how it looks like in real time. So this is the logo marks what we have. I can click right here, and this is the information that we included inside. So it should be only used for navigation only. It should only used against light gray backgrounds. We have the colors, so I can click this color. You can see while I copy it to the clipboard, logo guidelines, and remember you can swap all of these objects and elements. Branding use cases, so we just have this image title. I'm going to get rid of it. So continue branding and swap over to this image, get rid of this image title, save draft right here, and publish brand page, publish brand page. There we go. And now when I hit refresh right here on this page and scroll to my image, as you can see, it's removed. Now the great thing is you can see Web Donut by myself for Web Donut. So when I click right here and go to my profile, you can see that you can really create your profile to be sort of like your portfolio for branding in this case. And here your clients can see all of your options, and I didn't include it, but you can even include the website for this particular brand. So when your potential clients come to this page, click on that website, they can even visit that website and see the brand in full and see what you created for it and how it looks like once it's actually launched. So there you go. I hope you understood how important the branding is, how super simple Bravemark is to use. I'm going to leave the link down in the description below to check out this website. As I said, make sure to apply to the wish list, and don't worry if your branding pages are not as complex, are not as evolved, because this branding can really be useful for your career down the line, because it's going to be one additional skill that you can have, especially when you're working with smaller clients who also need this branding design work to be done. And if you're working as a designer, why not just include this? Why not just start working as a branding designer as well if you haven't done so before? Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you found value in it. If you did, make sure to press like and to subscribe to this channel. I upload new videos every single month all about UI UX design, passive income techniques, and so much more, including branding videos. So until next time, take care.